The wedding drum still echoed in her ears when Zainab slipped through the back gate of her father's compound and vanished into the moonless night. Hours earlier she had been dressed in shimmering gold, a bride meant for a wealthy merchant twice her age. Now she wore a plain brown wrapper and a loose scarf, the fabric damp with fear and sweat. The village slept. Only the restless wind heard the thud of her bare feet on the dusty road. She did not know where she was running, only that she could not stay. By dawn she reached the city outskirts, hungry and dizzy, her mind a blur of exhaustion. The first bus of the morning groaned to a stop beside her. Its driver leaned from the window, the smell of diesel and roasted peanuts drifting through the open door. His name was Musa, a tall man of 30 with shoulders shaped by long hours behind a steering wheel and eyes the color of midnight soil. His skin held the deep bronze of someone born to the sun, and a thin white scar cut across his lower lip like a forgotten story. "Going somewhere, sister?" he asked softly. Zainab climbed aboard without a word. Day after day, Musa's night route became her refuge. She learned that he drove through the silent hours when most of the city slept, steering the battered blue bus past markets and neon-lit bars, past the shanties where music never truly stopped. The bus was nearly always empty, but he drove with quiet purpose, as though the darkness itself depended on his motion. Zainab sat behind him, wrapped in borrowed sweaters, watching the city slide past in streaks of sodium light. Weeks passed. Her family never found her. Musa never asked questions he could not answer. He shared hot tea from a dented flask, offered half of his night bread, and sometimes told gentle jokes that coaxed a smile from her guarded face. She began to look for him even before dusk, her heartbeat matching the rumble of the engine. Somewhere along the endless streets, affection turned to something deeper, something she had never dared imagine during the suffocating betrothal she'd escaped. Yet Musa remained a mystery. He disappeared the moment his shift ended, never revealing where he slept or how he spent the dawn. Once, near sunrise, she tried to follow him. He vanished into a narrow alley and was gone, swallowed by the waking city. The next night he returned, as if nothing had happened, the same faint scar catching the dashboard light. Then came the night of the blackout. The city's power failed without warning, plunging the streets into a darkness thick as oil. Musa's bus rattled to a halt on the deserted highway. From the shadows emerged 3 men in tattered coats, faces hidden. They carried sticks and the cold glint of desperation. Zainab's breath caught, but Musa stepped down calmly, his frame outlined by the faint moon. A quick movement, too quick for her eyes, and the men froze as though some unseen force had struck them. They backed away wordlessly and melted into the night. Musa climbed back on, his heartbeat steady, eyes unreadable. "Why do they fear you?" Zainab whispered. Musa said only, "Some debts are older than fear," and drove on. The next evening she did not find him at the usual stop. Hours crawled by. Finally, near midnight, she saw his bus parked outside a crumbling warehouse district she had never entered. Music throbbed from inside, low drums and the metallic scent of blood money. Through a broken window, she glimpsed Musa, standing among men in expensive suits, their watches gleaming like small moons. A heavy briefcase rested on the table. He counted stacks of currency with a precision that chilled her. She turned to leave, but a hand touched her shoulder. Musa stood behind her, eyes shadowed but not surprised. "You weren't supposed to see this," he said quietly, "but maybe it's time." Inside he told the truth. By day, Musa was the anonymous night driver. By night's deepest hours, he was the courier of a clandestine rescue network. The briefcases were not filled with crime's profit, but ransom. Money funneled to smuggle victims of human trafficking out of the city, to bribe guards, to pay for safe houses. Years ago, his younger sister had been taken. He found her too late, broken by what she endured. Since then, he had lived two lives. One to hide in plain sight, the other to save strangers who reminded him of the sister he could not protect. Zainab listened as the warehouse lights flickered against his scar, a thin white mark earned in a fight that saved a child he would never meet again. Every night shift, every sudden disappearance, every quiet look carried the weight of lives he risked to free. If those who own the night discover me, he said, they will kill anyone near me. That is why I never let anyone stay. The revelation broke her and remade her in the same breath. The man she loved was both hero and fugitive, a savior cloaked in the humblest disguise. Her heart ached with pride and terror. Before dawn, the network's alarm sounded, an urgent call for a final transport. Musa needed a second driver. Without hesitation, Zainab took the wheel of a spare minibus, her hands trembling but steady. They drove through labyrinthine alleys and hidden checkpoints, carrying frightened children and a mother whose eyes held the same defiance Zainab had once felt on her own wedding night. When the last passenger was safe beyond the city border, Musa turned to her beneath the paling sky. "Now you know why I live in darkness," he said. "It is the only place I can fight the darkness." They parted before sunrise, not with promises but with understanding. Zainab returned to the city alone, her heart forever changed. She no longer feared her family's search or the whispers of scandal. She had touched a secret world where courage and danger walked hand in hand, where a simple bus driver carried the weight of countless souls. Sometimes, in the quiet before dawn, she still hears the low hum of an engine far off in the night, and imagines Musa at the wheel, eyes fixed on a road that never ends, carrying hope through the shadows while the world sleeps.